All right, so where were we? Oh yes, it was the Thermaltake GT level 10. Okay, here it is. Level 10 GT driving inspiration. They had a military inspiration one as well. It was kind of neat, you know. They had the cartridges here that looked like bullets and ammo. It looked like an ammo case, but yeah, I'm walking around here trying to show you what it's got. I weighed myself with this thing, and it is over 80 pounds. It is a beast. When I say it's a beast, it's a beast. It weighed over 80 pounds with the hard drives in the case. It's heavy. It's not heavy because the case itself is heavy. It's heavy because of all the hardware that I have in it. Now, I'll go over the hardware for you. Okay, I put these locking, this locking mechanism actually locks the hard drives down here, the storage drives. These are also lockable with a key here. This is actually my RAID 0 Windows 8.1, which I use for just a little gaming. The SSDs, HyperX drives. Back when Kingston was very reputable and made very good SSDs, I stopped buying Kingston drives because of that scandal. Maybe some of you heard of it. They would swap lower grade chips, but they would advertise it as though the same chips were in the SSDs, which of course is dishonest. So I was a very big fan of HyperX. I recommended HyperX to people online, and I was very impressed with HyperX products as being good quality products. But I guess in this day and age, people are getting desperate for chips, and you can't do that. You can't sell a product telling people it has this in it when it doesn't. You're using different chips. That's dishonest. And they were lower quality chips on the SSDs. So then I moved over to Samsung, which is, the world's #1 bestseller, very well notarized, but boy, you pay for them, right? The Samsung SSDs. And now, just recently, it's been discovered that Samsung is doing the same thing that HyperX Kingston is doing. Putting in lower quality chips and passing it off as a higher quality product. This here is my card reader. As you can see, there's all kinds of dust collecting in here and here. I've got to get that out, probably vacuum all that out or blast it out. These are my switches for my storage drives. That storage drives don't have to be running constantly all the time. So I have that for my storage drives, unless of course you're running data drives, maybe rated data drives and that. You don't want to be turning that off. If they're for a server, you don't want to be hitting the switch on that. But it's good to be in a position where if you have to, you can hit the switch without turning off your whole computer, and that's what I have that option here for. Generally, those drives stay on for me. I know people say badges are, they make your picture, your computer look junky. Well, whatever. I put badges up on mine, and I'm a resident of Canada, so I glued that up there just to look pretty. It's a Canadian-built system. So the EVGA is sticker, and that's a solid metal badge. That's the 1070 NVIDIA 1070 that I have in it. I put this up there just to show that it's actually being powered by NVIDIA. Intel Core i7 processor chip, and I'll get into that with you later on. The HyperX drives, which are down in here. And I also have some HyperX, or not Hyper, yeah, it's Kingston anyway, up, right high up in here. I have an array, I think a 2 terabyte array of SSDs up in here at the very top. Because it was space, it was room, and it was storage. The Corsair, powered by Corsair, what a joke. The Corsair would be my power supply. I have a 1,000 watt power supply in it, and it seems to power everything just fine. The platinum power supply, and of course Asus motherboard, and that pretty well covers it. And I don't think the badges are so bad on the front of the case the way I have them. You know, at first glance you just get to see what's in it. These are all lockable. Now this is what the iStar USA military grade type RAID cage. These, I don't know if this is unlocked or not. Yes, good. Okay. These sport, I'll show you, Western Digital Velociraptor drives. I don't know if I can get that to actually focus. They're Western Digital Velociraptor hard drives. Back in the day when Western Digital made dependable mechanical hard drives. Now I got to tell you something. As a PC builder, I do not recommend purchasing Western Digital mechanical hard drives unless you want to get your hands on some used ones like these, because they don't manufacture them anymore, unfortunately. But this array here is in RAID 10. Okay, 4 drives in RAID 10, and it serves me very well for storage. I have the redundancy, and I have the speed because it's RAID 10. If you can afford to do that, understand that, you know, half your drives are only just being there to give you RAID 10. You know, you basically are cutting your workability about like in half, like usable data, you know, storage by half, okay, for that kind of, having the performance and the redundancy. 50% of the drives are just there to provide you the redundancy and the speed. So let's say you want like 1 terabyte, for example, of RAID 10. Well, only 500 gigabytes of that will be usable. So remember that, like if you can afford that luxury, by all means, go for it. It's very handy. It's proven to be very reliable for me. I never lose data with this system, okay? And this card reader, very handy. You know, I've got the C-type, and I've got the high-speed charger thing. It's very handy for when I use it, but I find that for the most part, these good old USB 2.0 ports fit the bill. You know, and if I need speed, I have faster ones right on top here. This also comes equipped with a headphone holder. I took that off before I carried this unit upstairs from my server room. And then you have another security locking system here to lock the door if you want. And I'll get into that later with you about the door. I'm going to try to move this. Now you got to remember, this thing is 80 pounds. Okay, I'm serious. This thing is so heavy. It has so many drives in it. It has so much. It's packed. It's like what you call fully loaded. Now I don't have the plate back on it, but I'm going to be putting the protector plate back on the on this unit. I was putting in so many different cards and things. See, if I want speed, I got the high-end USB 3.2. I don't know what they call it anymore because they're so busy changing the names, the naming system, the nomenclature for USB 3.0, just to keep you confused and not knowing what you really got going. But the teal, you're looking for the teal color if you want the faster USB 3.0, and I've got that. So if I need fast USB speeds, I have it. Okay, you know, it supports the optical, which I was using for my cordless headphones, which is a very nice clean signal when you use optical. I was actually impressed with it, so you know, it's up to you. And I've got the, you know, the flash to BIOS, the back here, and all that, you know, fancy stuff that ASUS generally offers with their higher end boards. And the sound, onboard sound, is not bad, so I did not put a sound card in this unit. Okay, and so yeah, as you can see, practically all of these are full except for one card which I pulled, which I'll probably put back later. And yes, this cord here, let's have a look at this cord here. I have to put it back eventually, but because I'm working on the unit, I will be just leaving this off for now. This is for Thunderbolt 3, and it does work. Unfortunately, I don't have enough of the add-ons for my Thunderbolt 3, because Thunderbolt 3 is very, very, very expensive, and I'm waiting for the promised, okay, it's going on past 2 years now, for USB 4.0 to come out. Hey guys, hey you manufacturers, what's going on with USB 4.0? It was supposed to be out 2 years ago. We don't see it yet. And this is my Thunderbolt right here. Essentially, just for illustration purposes, to get this going, okay, what you do is you plug it right into your graphics card, right? You plug it right into here, and then this end here, okay, that plugs into right here, like so. Okay, that's, well, be careful with it. Well, I don't know if it's actually seeing it or not, but there. That enables you to have your, what's that, 32 gigabyte transfer speed. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's like 5 gigabytes per second or something. It's insane. It's insane speed. So, you know, it's very good. I can't remember what the speeds for Thunderbolt 3 are. But I did some file transfers with it once, and I gotta tell you, it's impressive. Thunderbolt is really, it's fast. But you know, that's like really handy when you're trying to like move large files, or you know, like if you're into content creation, or development, you know, program development or anything like that. Thunderbolt is handy. It's very handy for moving files, you know, because they, like they say, time is money. So I think I've given you much of the external tour. It's even got eSATA. Do you see that? eSATA. Who uses eSATA these days? Not me. But some people do, and I respect that because, my goodness, I've got computers with floppies in them still. And, you know, every once in a while, lo and behold, boy, if I hadn't had that floppy, I would not have gotten that computer going. Anyway, so, you know, it's nice to have your options. So here it is. I am going to now show you what's inside. And I'm scared to show you what's inside because it's like, you know, if you have a really messy house, you don't want company over. But, you know, this is the purpose of this video is to give you some tips on computer maintenance and to, you know, help you to understand why computers do need to be maintained and cleaned up. You know how they say the mechanic's car is never fixed? Well, that's me. You know, 10 years later, I'm finally going to clean out my computer here. You know, the mechanic's car is never fixed because I'm too busy working on other people's computers or making computers for other people. But this is indeed my favorite PC. And although you've probably heard me in the past talk about other components and stuff like that, where I'll say, you know, I don't recommend purchasing this. I did an interesting modification with this computer, by the way. Up in here, thermal take, and people seem to, these cases, people seem to always modify them. They love modifying these cases. I popped this strip, this plastic clear red strip out here, and I ran LED lights underneath it, inside, in the recess. And it's really neat. It just sort of, it looks almost like cars going down the highway because of the type of illumination. It refracts through the plastic in lines of light. It kind of reminds you of cars going down the highway, tail lights of cars going down the highway or something, which kind of adds to that whole driving theme for the GT. Anyway, so I'm going to open this and we're going to have a look at the disaster. Look at that dust. Can you see that dust? Maybe you can't. I'd probably have to have a light. I'm almost glad if you can't. But this computer needs a serious cleaning. Bad, 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 bad. I'm so bad. Shame on me. So I am going to do a serious cleaning. And what I also want to do is this RAID cage here. I want to pull it because the LEDs are actually going on the RAID cage. I mean, they're still functional when you do writing. They light up, but some of the LEDs on power on only show up intermittently. Now, part of that could be due to dust, but another part of it, I know for a fact, one LED has indeed failed. And, you know, I mean, I've had this for about a decade now, so I'm not really going to complain too much about that. It's too bad iStar USA does not make those RAID cages anymore. I really did like those cages. So yeah, there's a lot here that needs to be worked on. And as you can see, I'm using a Noctua cooler and Corsair fans for the RAM. And it has Corsair Dominator, Platinum Dominator RAM in it. And so I'll be cleaning the fans, the RAM fans on it, and yeah, I'll be cleaning a lot of it. A lot of disassembly will be done in this case, and reassembly. But normally you don't have to. All you need to do to clean out your computer is basically a vacuum cleaner with a soft non-metallic end. You can get rubberized ends on the tip, you know, and just get your tip in there and suck out all the dust very gently off all your components. Don't bang around in it, but gently. And you can get a little brush and you can actually just vacuum out what you're going to, you know, clean. This one, because of my negligence, I am going to be using an air compressor with a water filter, and I'm going to just really blast it out outside because it's that far gone. I seriously neglected this this one, and yet it's my favorite. Can you believe it? It's my favorite. Before I pull this, everything is still working fine. Except for that little LED problem, which is more of a cosmetic issue than anything else. See up there? I actually have SSDs. I don't know. No, I guess not. Can't show you. That's too bad. I need a flashlight to show you. I've got a bunch of SSDs up there over top. Well, you can see these here on the breakout cables. Yeah, I'm using a LSI card. Well, Abgo, I guess now. Right down here for my my RAID 10 configurations. And this thing sports RAID 0, RAID 1, RAID 10, and RAID 10. And I think it has another RAID 0 someplace. Don't quote me on it. But I do think I have got about 5 different kinds of RAIDs running on this simultaneously, thanks to the fact that I'm also using a RAID card. I think it's called Abengo or Abigo. And I've got 2 cards by them now. Used to be LSI. They were owned, I think, by Broadcom. And now they're owned by Abengo. But good cards. And yeah, this is a workstation / server unit. And it served my purpose. And I mean, I could even do a little gaming on it in the meantime, because aside from my major beef with Intel, which I won't really get into, because once you get me going on that one, I'll be talking for hours. That is the Spectre meltdown issue. And I just happen to be one of the wonderful, rare recipients of an actual attack through Spectre meltdown. And I've got it on video, so nobody can dispute the matter with me. Not even Intel could dispute the matter with me. But to be fair with Intel, Intel did replace my CPU with an Intel 6900K. That chip has a retail value right now, I think, going around $2,200 US. So that's a pretty nice CPU. You know, it's an octa-core, and it's proven to be extremely reliable, and served me very well. So I have to put in a plug for Intel in that at least they back up their product. At least they do support their product. You know, when you give them the necessary information that they need, you know, to make some sort of assertion as to what happened with the CPU, which I did do, they will, you know, they will come up to bat for you. So I don't want to knock Intel too hard, but I am still not impressed with the fact that they have still not adequately dealt with the Spectre meltdown issue that they've been having for almost a decade now. Well, for decades, you know, really, but just unofficially and officially, you know, like almost a decade now officially. But, you know, basically, you know, all CPUs going back to, like, you know, 2002, for that matter, okay, have this problem, Intel CPUs. They have worked on it on the newer CPUs, but it's not completely eliminated. Every time they think they've got the matter dealt with, there's a variant of Spectre meltdown all over again, and they have the issue all over again. But, you know, CPUs, AMD, Intel, they all have their good sides, they all have their bad sides. Nonetheless, I'm focusing more on AMD CPUs now because of the dedication and the vast improvement and affordability of AMD CPUs. I'm hoping they're not going to go like Intel and become a money-grubbing monopoly, but, you know, nonetheless, there it is, and powered AMD. But I said I wasn't going to get into this, and it sounds like I'm getting into this, right? I'm not... I've given up on the fanboy thing. It just doesn't work. You know, either you know, you find a product that works and is good, and it doesn't really matter what the brand is, or, you know, because isn't that really what you're after? Functionality, right? And you know, shame on you, Intel, for not fixing the Spectre meltdown problem. Shame on you, and I think I know the reason why you can't fix it, but I'm not going to say that on this video. Okay, so there it is. This is my mess that I have to clean out. I am going to literally blast this out with my air compressor. My air compressor has a water filter in it. I've tested it. I've actually drained the tank, you know, like where you drain it at the bottom, and I get no water from the tank. So it's very dry air that I'm using. It's very safe to use. Well, some people say, well, it's a lot of pressure, but boy, it'll definitely blast that air. And this is my PC. Now, I would not do this on someone else's PC. I would not risk, you know, damaging their PC with an air compressor. No, at most I would just vacuum it up with a rubber-tipped vacuum and remove the dust. But this is bad. This is my negligence. And so essentially, this PC needs to be almost like rebuilt. And I'm thinking about maybe doing a little bit of rewiring while I'm in the process, while I have it, you know, open on the table. But there it is. There's my mess. Welcome to my nightmare. And there's my power supply. And there's that NEC little gizmo that you use because I don't know why motherboard manufacturers never had the decency to give you like 4 USB 2.0 ports on the motherboard. I don't know why. You know, they're still using USB 2.0 for so many different things. You know, for example, for this power supply, you know, diagnostics, and yet, you know, they give you a motherboard that only has 2 USB 2.0 headers. I don't know why. This is a pet peeve of computer builders, by the way. Never having enough USB headers, not enough USB connectivity on the board. And so you have to buy little gizmos like this, you know, to compensate. And you'll see a little bit of work done, I don't know, right down here for more USB 2.0 connectivity. This thing is fully loaded. This thing has about as much. I mean, I could probably squeeze some SSDs in under here some more if I wanted to. But, you know, really, frankly, it's already running more hard drives than there are letters in the alphabet, if you can believe that. Okay, but I'll get into that with you maybe on another video. But I have to tell you, my experience with the Intel 6900K is nothing short of complete satisfaction. Complete satisfaction. And it's a shame that that chip is discontinued. You know, after, you know, the whole warranty thing went past, I clocked that thing to 4 gigahertz and not even a hiccup, nothing, you know. I could probably push it further, but if I had liquid cooling, you know, I don't really want to blow the chip, because if I blow the chip, well, there's $2,000, you know, no, you know, gone. I don't want to do that. And for my purposes, for a workstation, you know, for a home server / workstation, this unit is suffice at 4 gigahertz is fine by me. So I have to take this off so that I can pull this out, and that means I have to take the back panel over here. I have to take that off. All right, this here, and that's essentially it. So I'll get back to you on the progress and a little bit on the cleaning tips, you know, but you know, they say buy canned air, buy canned. I'm not going to buy canned air. No way. That stuff's expensive and it's a waste, and it's still bad on the environment because you got those cans to deal with afterward. You know, no, I'm going to use my air compressor with a water filter, and works wonderfully for me. The problem is I have to keep on, you know, charging up my filling up my canister on my my air compressor. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that pan. That is just horrendous. I feel guilty. I feel so ashamed that I let this thing go so far and so dusty. But the problem is it worked so well. I kept using it and using it and using it and using it and I'm like, someday I'll clean it out. Someday I'll clean it out, you know. Well, you know, 10 years later, someday I'll clean it out. Okay, well, I'm going to clean it out. it served me well. And I have to put in a positive plug for Intel, to be fair. The 6900K, I am so impressed with that chip. I am just so, lovely chip, lovely chip. And yeah, okay. So, and oh, I never did tell you what the motherboard is. The motherboard is an Asus. See, it's been that long. It's an Asus EWS USB 3.0, but I'm trying to remember the numbers. X99. X99. Oh, there it is right up there. Look at that. Asus X99 EWS USB 3.1. Pardon me. And the 3.1 is the teal green version 2. So I think it's now called 3.2 because they're changing all the naming nomenclature for USB now. Get back to me on that if you want. All I know is it's fast and it works well. So the first step will be taking this off. Well, maybe taking this door off, this swinging door. That's a nice thing too. And I'll have to clean this fan out. It actually has a filter in here that I have to pull out. I'm going to clean it up, make it look all nice again. And yeah. So thanks again for watching my video, putting up with my rants and my repetition. And remember, you know, I am not monetizing. I'm just doing this as a courtesy for those who may be interested, maybe those who actually prefer, you know, a less formal approach to PC building or maintenance, you know, whatever. Those who like the vintage material, can you believe this thing's vintage? You know, but it would be considered vintage. And yet, I'm going to tell you, this computer will keep up with whatever's out there. I do not have Windows 10 on this computer. I could put it on, but I'm not going to because I don't like Windows 10. I never did like Windows 10. Okay. I'm running 8.1. I'm running Windows 7. I don't currently have Linux on it, but I had Linux on it, and I'll be putting Linux on it again because I like Linux. And at least for certain applications, and or you know, whatever you want to call it. But I do like Linux, and way to go, Linux. Yeah, that's pretty much it for now. But this PC will, you know, it will run right alongside the rest of them, do all the modern things that you want your modern computer to do. But I am sure not going to be doling out, you know, for a brand new PC anytime soon, because this thing here will run another 10 years before it's just too old. Okay? And I want you to understand that. That's the way it is with most PCs. You don't have to throw away your old PC. Okay? Please don't do that. Please don't do that. When, you know, maybe $50, maybe $100, depending on what you want, you know, your PC to do, you could get that thing up and running like a brand new computer. Maybe even better than a lot of these new PCs that are out there today. They don't give you the options like this one does. And I still have a Blu-ray drive here, you know. If I want to pop in a Blu-ray disc, I can watch a Blu-ray, you know, old Blu-ray movie like The Matrix or something. You know, I've got that. You know, I've got my options. These new PCs, what are your options, right? All they do is they cover the front of the panel with a bunch of glitz, flashing discotheque lights, you know, RGB, and there you go. Doesn't that look cool? It looks cool, but what is the functionality of that PC? Well, you know, I guess it depends on what you want, right? You know, I mean, if you like something that's all flashy, you know, I got a flashy unit too. I could show you a little gaming unit that I built. So, you know, because I can, right? But it's kind of modified for my personal tastes. It's really up to you, right? But I have to say this Thermaltake GT Level 10 GT case has served me well. And it served my family well, you know, as a family like home server. It's done that remarkably well with the girls, and they like playing Minecraft together, you know what I mean? So they use, because I've got 128 gigabytes of RAM in this thing, they like to borrow some of Daddy's RAM for, you know, a server, and hey, you know what? This thing can handle it. Okay, all right, so thanks again for watching. This is an official Dumpster Divers PC reclamation video, and God bless you.